Hey, what's up, guys? This is Mansplaining Mike with the Mansplaining Mike Show, and today we're going to take another look at the Diddler files. This guy is always into some type of stuff, isn't he? And more accusations come out. We're even going to hear of one of the accusers, or hear from one of the accusers, And she's going to be talking about how she was molested and she was the girl in them pictures when she was only 14 years old. Those are the pictures that have been coming out talking about the girl was underage, and they never mentioned who she was. Her name is Mesha, and she speaks out. She does a little interview about it. Anyway, guys, let's get into this first clip. This is of Sky News talking about how crazy liberals are and how Ellen DeGeneres seems to have went on the run, guys. So, I mean, it'll be interesting to see. I think Ellen DeGeneres left the country too because she's on the run. They can try to blame it on, oh, Donald Trump won as much as they would like to. At the end of the day, we know they're going on the run. And why they're going on the run? They're going on the run because they were molesting children. Especially Ellen DeGeneres. There was video of her with Justin Bieber where she was acting inappropriately. So it's not any type of surprise that this is going on. In fact, it should have been expected, I think. We should have expected for all of these celebrities to be up to no good. I mean, look how they act. They act like they can't stand that Donald Trump won because Donald Trump is trying to put in executive orders to help protect the children. And they couldn't stand that, guys. So let's get into this and see what Sky News had to say. And like I said, I don't agree with Sky News on a lot of things. Like, I think they're way too friendly to Israel. But that's just my opinion, guys. Everybody has one, right? So let's get into it and see what we think.
Loser of the week. I've got to give it this week again to the US left-wing media because they really are capitulating into oblivion, aren't they? Let's start with the hosts of Morning Joe on MSNBC grovelling to Donald Trump.
Joe and I went to Mar-a-Lago to meet personally with President-elect Trump. It was the first time we have seen him in 7 years.
Now, we talked about a lot of issues, including abortion, mass deportation, threats of political retribution against political opponents, and media outlets. We talked about that a good bit.
Oh, please, how pathetic. And here is The View co-host Sonny Austin, who had to make a legal note correction about Trump's now former Attorney General pick, Matt Gaetz, after she trashed him.
Sonny, you have a legal note.
I do have a legal note. Thank you, Whoopi. Matt Gaetz has long denied all allegations, calling the claims, quote, invented, and saying in a statement to ABC News that this false smear following a 3-year criminal investigation should be viewed with great skepticism, that DOJ investigation was closed with no charges being brought.
We'll be right back.
Oh, was that a hostage video or was it actually The View? Yes, it was The View indeed. I mean, how pathetic are they? Seriously, they're not coping proof.
No, they're not.
They're losing it. They're losing their minds.
She sounded so sincere, didn't she?
Very
she
sincere.
Virtually choke on her words. But the best one for me is Ellen DeGeneres, who is, by the way, a very nasty person. I've had dealings with her in Australia.
Oh, bit of
could I tell you some stories about that cow? But anyway, good riddance to her. But she was quite friendly with that P. Diddy bloke, wasn't she?
Well, this is why I say release the Diddy files.
Yeah.
Release the Diddy files. Come on, Donald Trump. We want to know whose name.
So maybe she's hightailing out of there before all that is thrown at her as well. But what a bunch of hypocrites. I wonder if they had carpet burns, those SMS fools.
The grovelling. What was the point? You've called him Hitler. You've called him a dictator. You've called him all these slurs over the years only to trot yourself off to Mar-a-Lago and hope for the very best.
Well, Trump must have loved it. I bet he really will make them pay. And, he's not an idiot. So, we know those two morons are going to just get their comeuppance somewhere along the line. But I just find the hypocrisy of all these people is just astounding. And look, it's just so wonderful to see them cowering and grovelling like that.
Isn't it beautiful
stuff? The true
beautiful
characters are coming out that they've got no character, that they actually have no courage of their convictions.
Nothing at all. Well, MSNBC's hemorrhaging in the ratings, and I hate to say it, but
give MSNBC a miss.
SMS, as you now call them. Prove it's been great to see you. We'll do it all again next week.
Yeah, I mean, they're right. I think Ellen DeGeneres probably did have something to do with some pedophilia, especially with Justin Bieber. I seen tapes where she was looking pretty inappropriate with that kid. And that's when he was a kid, like 14 years old, 13 years old. She looked like she wanted to molest him then. And I don't care. Everybody can go ahead and run around and say, oh, she's a dyke. She wouldn't do that. She's a lesbo. Well, I don't think she cared, because I seen videos where it didn't seem like her lesbian ideology would have stopped her from having sex with a 14-year-old child. Anyway, it's also been rumored that Diddy's Beverly Hills home attracts a $30 million offer. It's said that he was asking around $60 million for it, and we'll hear about that right here. And we'll hear more about it as well. I'll also scroll up and down so we can just see different information that's out on X about it, because sometimes you'll find things on X in places like that you won't be able to find in the news easily. I mean, you can find it, but you got to know what you're looking for first. So anyway, let's get into it, guys, and see what this young man right here has to say about the situation.
This Diddy rabbit hole is wild. Check this out. So Diddy is in a world of hurt right now, and he has charges like racketeering, trafficking. But let's talk about the other moving pieces, starting with his home that he put up for sale for $61 million in Beverly Hills. Now, this mansion allegedly has tunnels in the pool area. Now, we don't know for sure if that's real or fake, but what I did find interesting is that his house was only a minute away from the Playboy Mansion. And that mansion did have tunnels, showing right here in a full laid out map where the stairs start from the top and goes down to this tunnel where we don't know where it leads. Now, these tunnels were built back in the 70s, and they said it was for the stars to have easy access to the mansion, but this place is pretty secluded as is. This is like overkill. Now, I'm not a
Yeah, what do that mean? Easy access to the mansion. You just go up to the door, knock on it 3 times, and somebody will answer. It's just like any other house. So you ring the buzzer when you're outside at the gate, and they'll let you in. So this idea that they needed privacy to get to the mansion, that's ridiculous. That was there to traffic children in and out of those tunnels. I can almost guarantee it.
Conspiracy theorists or anything like that, but could it be that tunnel coming from the Playboy Mansion went to Diddy's house? Now, I'll let you guys chew on that one for a while, but let's move on to other people involved. Next, we have Justin Bieber, who recently parted ways with his business manager, Lou Taylor. Yes, that same Lou Taylor who was Britney Spears' manager from 2008 to 2020 and created her conservatorship. Yes, that very same manager that Britney Spears threatened to sue because she said they were trying to kill me, which actually makes total sense because Lou Taylor, Robin Greenhill, and the rest of the management team got $18 million to create Britney's conservatorship. And another fun fact, Robin Greenhill is actually Diddy's finance manager. Now, Bieber has been coming up a lot lately due to this old footage resurfacing.
48 hours, he's with me, so and we gonna go full crazy.
Wait, hold up. This reminds me of what Usher said when he was a teenager at Diddy's house to attend his flavor camp.
Moved to New York City, and I lived with Sean Diddy Combs for a year.
I just thought of something. Flavor camp. I wonder what flavor he was tasting. It wasn't nothing good. He was tasting a grown man. Diddy was molesting that boy, I guarantee.
That's the crazy thing. Now, that was L.A. Reid's idea, right? We're sending you to something called Puffy Flavor Camp. There you go. To learn some... Yeah, that's what it was called. And you're going to go to Puff Daddy's.
Oh, I don't even want to know what flavor the camp was. You can keep that. Make sure you guys go to conspired.tv because I did a full hour breakdown of his entire network. This thing is far from over, you guys, and I'm hearing a ton of names being thrown around. Even Nicki Minaj is tweeting about a very famous, legendary rapper, and I can't even show you the full tweet because it gets crazy, but her allegations are wild. Let me know what you guys think and what names you think we're gonna hear. Let me know below.
I know some we're gonna hear. Meek Mills has already been coming out talking about it's not true what they're saying about him, but there's tape out where you can hear his voice and he's getting smashed by Diddy, if you know what I mean, and it didn't sound good at all. I'd have played it for y'all, but I don't like hearing men moan. I'm good on that. You guys can look it up. I'm sure you guys can find it just about anywhere. I'm sure it's on X. Just look up Meek Mills being with Diddy. Tape where you can hear Meek Mill screaming, calling Diddy daddy and stuff. It was disgusting, guys. I didn't even listen to the whole thing. I heard about 3 seconds of it, and that was enough for me. But I know some people are able to handle stuff differently. I really don't like hearing about homosexual butt sex. It's not something I prefer to listen about, but everybody has their choice, you know. So you guys can look it up if you want to hear it.
Right before Thanksgiving in New York for a client in Oklahoma, and she traveled from Oklahoma to New York, where she actually won a trip to go to a Diddy party from the radio station. And so we will be filing a lawsuit against Diddy, the radio station, and the record label who financed and promoted that event. I have another case that'll be coming out right before Christmas, and then one more case right before New Year's. I would like everybody to keep in mind, especially when we're talking about the victims, that these are people who are traumatized. So, you know, maybe be a little more kind in how you're evaluating them, because these are people who have been through traumatic circumstances and are now trying to find their voice and tell their story. And the last thing they need is people calling them liars or making fun of them, because put yourself in their predicament. How would you feel if this has happened to you? And then you find...
Hey, on this show, we're going to call it down the middle. If I see somebody I think is lying, I'm going to tell you about it. And if you disagree with me, you can let me know in the comment section below. But holding our tongue for facts doesn't make any sense. We've been doing that for the 4 years where Joe Biden had taken power. We weren't able to speak our minds. So, I mean, if you see something you don't think it's right, say something. Who cares what they're talking about if it hurts somebody's feelings? And she's right. Some of them might have really been victimized. We might be right or we might be wrong about some of the people we think did get victimized or we think didn't get victimized. But as American citizens, we should talk about it and we should discuss it, because this is a free country. And that's what it was founded on, being able to discuss controversial things without being stopped by anybody. So don't hold your tongue for anybody. If something doesn't seem like it's right, say something about it.
Finally come out, and this is the response you're getting from people. So I will hope, you know, we all have a little more sensitivity to everybody.
Are there more potential victims against Diddy that you'll be representing soon?
Yes, I have a case that I'll be filing right before Thanksgiving.
Well, that was the beginning part that we missed, that real end that I put there. But as you can see, she's representing a variety of clients, just like Busby was. So it seems like there's a lot more cases that are coming forward. We have an interview later with the 14-year-old victim. She's not 14 now. She was 14 when she was victimized. So we'll hear from her a little bit later. And she's just talking about what's going on with the case in this video. So let's see what we think about it.
Send a cease and desist to the witness who had the freak-off tapes of Diddy. Christian Combs and Quincy Combs sent a cease and desist to the witness Courtney Burgess and his attorney Ariel Mitchell over the Kim Porter Tell It All book, currently sold under Jamal Millwood. In the letter obtained by TMZ, the Combs brothers say that they are the rightful heirs and owners of Kim's intellectual property rights following her passing in November 2018. Therefore, her purported...
Being somebody's kid doesn't mean that you get all of their belongings when they die. I mean, there has to be a will where they leave that stuff to you. So if in her will, she said she was leaving something to somebody else, so there was an absence of a will, there's nothing wrong with him having the book. So they can file as many cease and desists as they would like.
diary entries belong to them. The brothers said the federal witness Courtney Burgess did a bunch of interviews to promote the book, claiming it was an original, unedited copy of her diary/memoir. He alleged that he got the flash drive from people who were close to Kim and printed it out without any edits to produce the book. But at the same time, even though Quincy and Christian are saying that they are the heirs and everything needs to go to them, they are also shooting down that narrative, saying that the whole flash drive tale is false and it misleads the public, but also saying in the letter that if it is true, the flash drive would belong to them as they are Kim Porter's heirs. Kim and Diddy's sons are now putting Courtney Burgess on the clock, saying that he has 5 days to shut down the online sales of the book, stop doing interviews making false claims, and turn over any of Kim's possessions that he claims to have. And they want an accounting of any money that he's made off the book. And okay, I understand sending him a cease and desist to take this book down, but they're also claiming that they want these possessions that he's claiming on having, even though they're saying that they're not true, but they're saying if it is true, we're her heirs, so we need all of this information. But are they forgetting that the feds took all of this from Courtney Burgess? This is why he testified in front of the grand jury. The whole way that the cease and desist is reading out sounds absolutely weird as hell, because you're literally starting it out saying, we are her heirs. Anything that was hers is ours and it's not yours. But then you're saying it's not true. But then you're turning around again and saying whatever he has, you want it and he needs to send it to you in 5 days. You want something that this man doesn't even got. The feds came and took it. This is obviously why he got subpoenaed to testify in front of the grand jury. The only time you boys are going to see this evidence or information is when you guys are sitting in on your daddy's trial and you hear it presented to a court of law. But y'all let me know what you guys think about all this in the comments.
I think that's not going to work out. Like I said, you don't get to get your dad's possession just because you're his kid. There has to be a will that leaves it to you, especially if it was left with somebody else and they're claiming ownership of it. You would have to have proof that everything of hers was supposed to go to you and that's what she wanted. When you don't have proof, you just lose. I mean, that happened to me when I was a kid, like a baby, like 9 years old. My dad died. And not all of my brothers and sisters, but about 3 of them stole all my stuff that my dad wanted to leave to me because there wasn't a will. I couldn't go and claim that it was really mine. I didn't have any proof. Even though there was proof, it was destroyed by my older siblings. Not all of them, like I said. It had nothing to do with my older sister Andrea, for example, who also got screwed. So anyway, guys, let's keep going and see what we come across. I didn't want to put too much information out about myself. Like, it's not a real big deal. Whatever happened to me, and I'm doing fine. So it doesn't really matter. I'm just going to make sure. Okay, this is 2 different videos. So we'll take a look at this too and see what we think, guys. She does a good job breaking stuff down too. I've taken a few of her videos. I really don't know how to tell you can follow her either. If I did, I would definitely shout her out. Anyway, let's keep going and see what we think.
Question in his bail hearing was about lying to the judge. This man is a reporter who's been sitting in on all of Diddy's hearings, and he said that it started all rise, and then Diddy's lawyer said the family of Mr. Sean Love Combs are here and they traveled a long way. The judge then says thank you for being here and asks Diddy's lawyer to tell him about the legal pads. Diddy's lawyer responds saying the first time I saw them was on Tuesday. Diddy's lawyer then says, as we sit here today, I'm not sure when legal was written on each one of the pads. I'm trying to get to the bottom of it. Different members of the defense team were telling him to write legal on the pads. There is a photo of a pad without legal on it. Then he said, so it's clear that on November 1st, the sweep, they did not all say legal. Diddy's lawyer then said, so it's clear that on November 1st, during the sweep, they did not all say legal. The judge said, the pad you handed up to me, did it say legal on November 1st? And Diddy's lawyer responded, I'm not sure.
See, that's important information. If you put legal on a notepad, then the police can't take possession of that notepad. They can't even go through it. Neither can the prosecutors, because that's legal evidence between you and your attorney. And all of that is completely confidential. So the fact that it didn't say legal on it, left it open for them to take, that was Diddy's fault. He didn't listen to his lawyers. He didn't pay close enough attention, and now he's suffering the consequences.
The judge said, moving forward, make sure representations are true. I mean, I'm glad that the judge wasted no time bringing this up, and Diddy and his team did get caught lying to the judge, but I also feel like the judge could have been way more strict instead of just saying, make sure moving forward that all representations are true. But who knows which way this is going to go. I will keep you updated, and I'm keeping my fingers crossed that Diddy stays where he is at. But let me know what you guys think about all this in the comments. Diddy's first question.
Yeah, I mean, I hope he stays where he's at too, but not really. I mean, staying where he's at, that's a good thing, but I think it would be a whole lot better if there was a more final solution all of us didn't have to pay for. This video right here, this is about how the lawyers for Diddy are saying it's not fair that they don't know who the people's names are that are accusing him. And according to legal practices, it really isn't right, but I think he'll find out before the trial so that he's able to defend himself. But they have to give everybody an opportunity to defend themselves, even if we don't like them. Like, I personally dislike Diddy a whole lot, but I think he should still have the opportunity to a fair defense. I think he'll go to jail either way. That's why I want to make sure that people understand how important it is that he does get a fair trial. Because if it's not a fair trial, then it goes up for appeal, and we have this sucker back out on the streets raping people, raping children, continuing his pedophilia. So we need to make sure that he gets locked up for good and that he gets locked up the right way. And like I said, I don't think it should be for good. I think it should be just until they can get his final resting place together. Anyway, let's keep going through this and see what we think.
And the various civil lawsuits, they've been Jane and John Doe. And that Diddy's team had argued that they can't really fight these allegations if they don't know who these people are, and have really fought to reveal their identity. How can Diddy's legal team prepare?
You have to be able to know who your accuser is. And by saying Jane or John Doe, that doesn't really do you any good. They're going to know eventually, because they're going to have to be prepared and presented these facts. I think they make an excellent point. However, the judge is going to balance everything. Balance the privacy of these alleged victims against the needs of the defense, and it's a tough balancing act.
Hey, I'm sorry his video is so bouncy. Whoever that guy is talking, his video is really bouncy. I just want to let you guys know that's not anything I can control. I'm sorry about that.
The judge is going to order the names to be released. Now, I have a feeling what the judge will do would be that they have to be released, but it can only be to the defense, and it's going to be a very secretive way, if you will. Diddy's going to have to know about it. How are they going to be protected, these witnesses?
Diddy's alleged victims and the various...
Yeah, it's already been being said that he was trying to blackmail some of the victims from prison, so that's why they're trying to keep the names from them, but at some point they have to give it to them. I mean, it's just the way the courts work. You have to be able to defend yourself from any type of an accusation. This one's about how P. Diddy was saying that he went crazy after J-Lo left him. So I'm going to have the computer read this one to you just because it sounds a little bit interesting. And we'll see what we think afterwards.
Ellen Diddy Combs and Jennifer Lopez are two stars who are even more in the public eye than usual, though for very different reasons. However, the stars had already been connected, as the pair had been in a relationship together for about 2 years, one that Diddy once said sent him to therapy. All eyes are on Diddy right now as the rapper and mogul is set to stand trial for racketeering and sex trafficking in federal court. Jennifer Lopez is currently working through her high-profile divorce from Ben Affleck. And because of her previous association with Diddy, she, like many celebrities, is under additional scrutiny. What Diddy said in resurfaced interview. In 2002, Combs was interviewed by Playboy, via OK Magazine, and it has recently resurfaced as people have continued to dig into the rapper's past. He admits to going to therapy at various times in his life, including following the end of his relationship with Jennifer Lopez. He also admitted to what he called drastic mood swings, though he denied being bipolar. Diddy remains incarcerated on federal charges while lawsuits continue to be filed against him by dozens of people claiming wrongdoing. He was originally denied bail, but that ruling has been appealed and a new hearing is currently scheduled. The relationship between Lopez and Combs was huge news while it was going on from 1999 to 2001. The pair were something of an it couple. There are now a lot of questions surrounding the other celebrities who attended the lavish parties thrown by Combs, as it's unclear who knew what. The fact that Lopez's former relationship is now under the microscope is coming at a bad time, as she's already dealing with another high-profile split. Jennifer Lopez isn't talking about her relationship with Diddy. Most celebrities who have attended Diddy's parties have been keeping quiet following the rapper's arrest. Lopez is one of those who is keeping quiet. And to be fair, she is dealing with a lot of her own problems. Lopez ended a summer away from her husband Ben Affleck by officially filing for divorce, a move that had been fully expected following reports of difficulties between the pair. This has now resulted in houses being sold and both Affleck and Lopez trying to navigate work while dealing with the divorce. That also includes Unstoppable, a movie in which Lopez stars and Affleck produced, meaning they're working together even though they're no longer actually together. Diddy will certainly remain in the headlines for the next several months. Most recently he was back in court to see evidence gathered in a raid of his cell ruled inadmissible. Diddy is scheduled to go to trial in May. When Lopez's divorce will be finalized is anybody's guess.
Well, that's interesting to hear that she's getting a divorce. I heard it has a lot to do with the Diddy situation. I heard she had a lot more to do with it than what people think. In fact, one of the accusers, who we're going to see in a little bit, had a lot to say about how she was being exposed through these pictures about Diddy and stuff. And she's been crying about it. It seems like it took an emotional toll on her. I think that'll be the next video we watch. This is just about Shine. Now, Shine, he had took a case for Diddy. There was a shooting at a club in Atlanta, I think, where somebody ended up dead. It was a shooting between like Diddy's people and BMF. If you guys don't know about BMF, you guys should probably look into that. It's a really great story too. Maybe I'll cover it a little bit. I'm not sure. It's old news, so I don't know if I'm going to bring it back up. But BMF, they were pushing like most of the cocaine all over the United States pretty much. So they were dealing with people like Diddy and everybody else, and they were like so big, they were making billions of dollars too. Like Big Meech was super rich off of selling drugs, and they got into it with Diddy at a club, and Diddy ended up shooting somebody. I don't want to end up getting in trouble for saying that. He didn't get in trouble for shooting somebody, but his buddy Shine was the one who went down for him shooting somebody, is the rumors. They say, like the police and the court records would tell you that Shine killed the guy, but what everyone is saying is that it was really Diddy. Anyway, guys, let's keep going and see what we think.
Good to see you. Shine rarely does interviews here in the Prospect Park South neighborhood where he grew up.
Family still lives here. Cousin Ron Dew and my aunt Nadine still lives right up here on the second floor.
But then again, he and I have a common history. Both born and raised in poverty in the same neighborhood in Belize.
Someone was saying, oh no, there were no outhouses, and I'm like, there were outhouses, yeah.
Well, we had a woman that would dump our stuff in the canal.
I had to go dump it in the canal, yes. Yes, I remember vividly.
He moved to Brooklyn as an 8-year-old, and I did at 11.
Let's walk down the block.
The plans for his newly released documentary, The Honorable Shine, were already in the process during our last meeting in Belize.
The last time we met was 3 years ago.
Yeah, in Belize City.
The documentary picks up where our Brooklyn life paths separated.
Everybody that heard me wanted to sign me.
Shine was signed to Diddy's Bad Boy Records as a teenager, earning early success and winning 2 Grammys.
I had a massive impact on the music industry, and I would have liked to focus more on that.
And then the controversy.
Combs and Lopez were busted after leaving the scene of a nightclub shooting.
December 1999, Shine, Diddy, and Jennifer Lopez.
Oh yeah, that's something I forgot to mention. They say that Jennifer Lopez was the one who brought the gun in for Diddy because Diddy was a felon and couldn't have possession of a gun. So like a lot of people do when they're involved in the street life, he had his girlfriend carrying a gun for him. And that's how all of it got started. J-Lo keeps getting tied into stuff, but I heard she had a lot more to do with the children that Diddy was molested. That's just a rumor. I don't know if it's true. I don't want to get sued for saying it, but from what I understand, that's factual information.
Lopez in a New York City club when shots are fired. A woman severely injured in the face identified Diddy as the gunman. Both Combs and Shine charged in connection with the shooting. Diddy was acquitted and Shine convicted and jailed for a decade.
He was boasting as to me taking the fall. We all knew that I took the fall. It's nothing new.
But your gun fired that night.
Yes, I was defending myself, but but when we talk about taking the fall, if he fired his gun as well, then I could have said to the DA, hey, Sean Combs was shooting as well.
Shine was eventually deported back to Belize, converted to be an Orthodox Jew, and cut ties with Diddy.
I already don't like Shine either. I don't like neither one of them.
Time I felt like he was a devil. Anybody that would testify against their friend who was trying to defend them, is demonic.
The two recently reunited on the BET stage, but as the dozens of sexual assault lawsuits and abuse accusations began to mount, along with more revelations about the shooting, they've gone their separate ways.
Do you ever talk?
So in other words, Shine was pretty cool with him all the way up until he got in trouble. See how fake that is? It's beneficial for Sean to speak out against him now. And this guy is quite the liar. If you listen to him speak now, as opposed to how he used to speak when he was a rapper, he speaks completely different and puts on a fake accent to sound like he's coming from... I mean, he did come from the islands, but he didn't have that accent his whole life. Suddenly, he leans into it extremely hard. But I mean, that's not surprising. A certain set of people, according to their Babylonian Talmud, can lie and trick us as much as they would like.
With him? No. That relationship has become to a full close.
The federal charges against Combs of racketeering and sex trafficking come as no surprise to Shine.
You can't tell me to say, oh, I don't think he did it, when I know what he did to me. Everybody's journey's different. Mine was 23 years.
Shine is now writing his own fairy tale ending. The former prisoner, now politician in Belize, facing a key election in the next few months.
We're going to be the next prime minister of Belize, and we're going to not just be the next prime minister, but one of the best prime ministers of Belize.
The ex-bad boy for life, hoping to make the lives of others better.
Amen.
He's trying to make his life better, I think. I don't think he's really concerned about making anybody else's life better. He's not trying to turn anybody else into a politician or make sure that they're making no money. He's trying to make sure that he's eating. So he's trying to make sure that his life is better. It doesn't have anything to do with other people. He seems like one of those liberal politicians too. So those guys always lie. And like I said, there's people of a certain religion, you guys should look into the Talmud, who can sit around and lie to you with ease and not feel they violated any morals. They just lie and lie and lie, and they don't think anything is wrong with that. Anyway, guys, let's keep going through this. This is the story about a 14-year-old who was molested. I saved it for last because it's the most important thing, and I was hoping it would keep everybody tuned in until the end. So here's the 14-year-old girl who was molested, and there's a lot of crying. It might be a little hard to understand over her crying, but I mean, it's an important story, guys, and I can understand why she would be crying if she was raped. Anyway, let's keep going and see what we think.
I need help. They got my pictures out here. Who put my pictures out here?
So Mesha, yeah, definitely that part. Let's talk about those photos that's all over the internet. So basically that's you on the table with the food on you and they're eating off you.
Yes.
A 14-year-old girl. Why would he want to eat food off of a naked 14-year-old? He had all the money in the world. I'm talking about Diddy. All the money in the world. Billionaire. He could have ate food off of any female in the world. He chose to eat it off a child. Sick bastard. He deserves the death penalty. I don't care if they censor me on YouTube or whatever channels this ends up on. I wouldn't give a rat's ass if they censor me after seeing that.
How old were you in those photos?
I was 13.
13?
I didn't turn 14 till the end of that year. I don't turn, like, my birthday's in December. So I ran out 33 with January. After December, I'm going to be 34. Like, I always turn the same age at the end of the year. And I don't know who has it. I don't know who they got the video of me being when I was going with the white men. They were doing weird shit to me. Like, they beating me. This woman flat out my hair. Got me ready for this man named Joey. And they beating me. Got me strapped to a tree, and like I just feel like I'm being bullied because they putting it out there. You know what I'm saying? Who would glorify this?
So it sounds like somebody paid to beat her. So instead of trying to pay to have intercourse with her, he wanted to beat her and rape her. It sounded like she was tied to a tree, and Diddy was allowing for it. It seemed like it was at his freak off parties. That's horrible. A 14-year-old child.
This is nothing to glorify. You know, it is like everybody that's coming forth and they're doing interviews. Everybody that's doing interviews has something to do with me. Everybody is doing interviews has something to do with me. And I'm just sitting back and I'm just watching people. Like, I don't watch TV, listen to music no more because...
Hey, I believe her because she's not on here dressed with her tits all out like that last lady I talked about. I'll leave a link to that one in the description box below because, like I said, everybody should speak out if they see something that's not right. This is true. I can tell. Look how she's crying. That's a real reaction. Somebody who was raped acts like that when they talk about it. They don't strip naked and start talking on a camera for YouTube.
everybody that you listen to, it hurt me. You understand what I'm saying? And
So there were a lot of celebrities involved in.
even if you tell them I was 17, I was still underage. The fake age, the people told me the same. Like, I was still underage. And this man had my mind known that I was being abused at home, and I was thinking that this is how the world treats you. You know what I'm saying? I'm thinking this is love. This is you gotta do. He took my virginity. My mom was gone. I don't know. My mom was gone.
Wow, he took her virginity at 13 because she said she didn't turn 14 until later. So Diddy was molesting a 14-year-old who was being abused at home. She was just looking for a way out. She needed help. He took advantage of her.
So
Now, peeps, that was part one of.
Man, that's horrible. I'm sure you guys can find her story out here. If you look for the whole story, it's probably on YouTube now. Her name is Mesha. So I suppose you would just type in Mesha, because I don't think anybody knows her last name. She's probably not releasing that. She was underage at the time. Her story seems very true because of the emotional reaction she's getting just from talking about it. Like the other girl who I said was lying, or who I thought was lying, she didn't have an emotional reaction. She had her tits out on camera for the whole world to see. That doesn't seem like somebody who was molested or raped or victimized would be asking for more men to pay her the same type of attention. You know what I mean? But that one right there, she seemed like she was really telling the truth about what happened to her. Man, that made me feel horrible just watching it. I mean, watching a woman cry should make every man feel bad, you know? Anyway, guys, this was the Mansplaining Mike Show. I'm Mansplaining Mike. I hope you enjoyed the show. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share it with some sissy-ass liberal who'll cry about it for the next month, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. I'm out.